So now the tank. We're having a look at the tank because we've got to get the tank ready for installation. A few bits and pieces to look at. Taking everything out, got the fuel pump out, got the sender unit out and the cap. But the biggest problem with the tank is these bloody screws. They are a nightmare, a bloody nightmare, because the bolt you use should be pointed. It should be short, because if they bottom out, what actually happens, it rotates the nut inside. See, that is virtually at the bottom, and yet look how much thread is sticking out. Not a lot, and that is a very short bolt. In order to make sure these are fine, what I've been doing, I've tapped out each one very, very gently with a tap, a tapered tap, so it's not too aggressive. If you go in too deep, the nut rotates inside, and then you're in trouble then, because you'll have to remove the nut. But luckily on this particular tank, all 6 have now responded, so they're now ready. So today, fitting the tank and all the associated parts, fuel filter and all of the various bits and pieces, the hoses, etc., that go into the tank. Now what we've got is brand new fuel filter. I've bought some proper correct sized hose, fuel hose. There's the fuel pump assembly. I've taken the old fuel filter out. I'm ready then to go into the tank. Now the amazing thing, on the last couple of BMWs that I've taken apart to do fuel filter replacement, the fuel filter has been put on wrong by the previous owner. The thing that's really important is you have to get that arrow on the filter to face the direction of fuel travel. Now incredibly, the last couple I've taken apart, it's been that way, but it is supposed to be that way. Look at the reason why. Here's a fuel pump, sucks fuel in, pumps it down that line, along that line, down there, through the fuel filter, and then into that line, and then out towards the injection system. So the fuel filter must face that direction. The arrow must face towards the exit, the little round hose which is the exit to the throttle bodies. So make sure you double check in your own mind where it goes. Now be careful obviously when you put this in, put it in, do it up, make sure it's in safe condition. So as you can see, fuel filter has now been fitted and the 2 clips been done up. Now what's really important, make sure those clips are done up tight. Make sure these pipes are in really good condition. I once had a BMW that came in that wasn't running, it just stopped, and the reason is that one of these hadn't been done up, and fuel as a result was just pouring out the side, wasn't getting it up to the throttle bodies. So these clips are crucial. They're done up tight and that their hoses are in good condition. Now once that's done, that now is ready to be fitted back into the tank. Be careful that when you're fitting it back in, this hose must be correctly positioned. If it's positioned like that, for example, it'll leak, so it's got to be correctly positioned. Might be a good idea to retain it into position with a bit of grease, very, very gently allow it to go in. Also, on this bottom half where the pump is, you've got these two pipes here, which are your overflow pipes. They're connected to the two hoses that come from the filler. They go on there, click, click, like that. Now it's essential that these clips are done up properly, because if one of those comes off, this is all full of fuel, as you can imagine. Fuel will just pour out of there straight down onto the floor, and if you've got a full tank of fuel, that's going to be a little bit of a mess. So make sure that these clips are in perfect condition, and indeed that the hoses are in perfect condition, before you actually fit the fuel pump. Now these hoses are retained by a hose that's on the side of the fuel level sensor. This hose here retains those pipes so that the pipes are kept out of the way of fuel surge. So I'll show you now how I'm going to do that. So first, hook these two hoses with the ring over the fuel level sender. Fit the level sender gasket in the tank with the cutout listed in the gasket to make sure that that is in the right position, and then gently feed it into position. Note, in the bottom of the tank there is a little tiny lump that the spring over the bottom of the level sensor fits. Make sure it's fitted properly, because then it won't leak. So here we've now got the two hoses with the clips on, and the wires from the fuel sender unit. They're sticking out, ready to be connected. Notice that there is the connection for the wires, and there are the two outlets for the hoses. Now you'll notice that this pump has to go on a certain way. Notice that there is a scratched line there which aligns with the scratched line on this particular flange, which means that that straight edge there will go there, across between those two holes there. So effectively it'll be in like that. It must go in the correct way. The pump effectively sticks up towards the front of the tank. And now the final setup. Hoses in place, all connected up, all of the overflow hoses coming through to this tidy here, and then clips at the end ready to be installed onto the bike. So now just the filler cap to fit. And then the filler cap fitted along with the top cover, making sure that those holes allow clearance to the nuts underneath. And now time to fit the tank